Well, hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Breakout Trading Answered, where we talk about all things breakout trading. And well, if you're not a breakout trader, you're welcome as well. And here today we have breakout trading specialist again, Thomas Nesnedo. Welcome, Thomas.
Thank you very much, Andrew. I like you being full of energy today. I wish I had your energy right now. Welcome back, everybody. Guys, happy to have you here. Who's here tonight?
Let's have a look in the chat.
Let us see. Just type
There,
some
Mark.
hellos so
hello
we
from
know
Mark.
who's here. Oh, I can already see. Yeah, Mark.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there are more guys. We might get some small delay again.
Exactly. So,
yeah.
Well, the reason for my being excited today, first of all, we've got a great topic to talk about today, and also that music at the start always gets me going. So, like, I don't know if nobody can see me dancing in the background, luckily, but it's a good start. So, yeah, the show today, we're going to be talking about something that impacts all traders. Can you guess what it is?
Psychology.
Well, that's true. That's true. We're going to be talking about losses. So impacts all traders, unless you're doing something illegal, of course. Maybe Bernie Madoff or someone like that didn't experience losses, but we're all legitimate traders here, and we all have to put up with losses. But first, yeah, let's jump back to the chat now. I can see there's a bunch of hellos coming in now. So, hey, Francisco from Brazil, Sao Paulo. I probably said that wrong, didn't I? Sao Paulo.
Great.
That's one country I haven't been to.
Hi, Francisco.
Yeah. Hey, Mark again. Yurka is here. Good evening, Yurka. Good to see you again.
Yurka from Czech Republic. Actually, Francisco reminds me. Francisco, I was about to greet you in Portuguese because I used to live in Portugal and speak Portuguese. But tonight my brain is a little bit slowed down, so I'm not going to switch to Portuguese.
Okay, cool. Well, g'day, Alan.
Alan
says hello.
Hi, Alan. Hi, guys.
Too. So let's get on with the show, hey? Because losses are something that we all have to, I guess, learn to accept and put up with. And the title of the show is 5 Unexpected Ways Traders Lose Money. And I think the intention behind the word unexpected, I guess, do you want to explain it, Thomas, or should I put my little twist on it? Because I think some of these, well, you go, actually. You go first.
No, you put the nice twist on it. I'm curious. Now you got my attention.
So I was going to say unexpected is because, sometimes these 5 ways that we're going to talk about impact traders and they don't realize it. So in that context, it's a bit unexpected. So as we go through this list today, maybe you've recognized some of these in your own trading or someone else's. So they might not necessarily be revolutionary, but sometimes it's good to, review some of this stuff and be mindful and aware of it so that we don't kind of unexpectedly get impacted by it. So what do you think about that, Thomas?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really important to remind of these things because, we've been, I've been working with traders for 15 years probably. Andrew, he's got his Better Trader Academy, Better System Trader Show. Now he's working with traders in BT Trader Academy for more than 5 years already. So I would say, Andrew, we've seen quite a lot, and we really talk to hundreds, if not maybe 1,000 traders. And I think we keep seeing same mistakes when it comes to losing traders. And, it's quite funny because we could probably talk about this stuff again and again, and then people still will go and will commit these crimes against their own money repeatedly, which is quite mind-blowing. I don't know why. But still, it shouldn't stop us from reminding everyone what are the dangers, especially in the beginning, that can lead to fast loss of money. And we're not here to lose money. We're here to make money. So we thought it would be quite a good topic to bring it up and talk about these things. And you guys, I'm saying this honestly right now, don't expect anything magical, because the things we're going to talk about, you probably did hear them before already, but this time we really need you to get them into your blood and take them seriously. Like, be conscious of what we're saying, pay attention, because we mean it. And it sounds like obvious stuff, but this stuff can save you a lot of money. We've been there, we've seen that, we've done that.
Excellent. Well said. Well, let's get to it then, right? Why don't we? Because this is
Yeah.
a little bit of a mystery, the way we're talking about these unexpected ways. So there's 5 we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to put up a slide that just mentions the names of them. And then, Thomas, I'll let you run with it and explain it. Some of these names are quite intriguing. Here we go. 5 unexpected ways traders lose money. So number 1, the speedboat mentality. I love that. I can't wait to hear what that one is about. The compensation illusion, the a lot for little attitude, the strategy paradise bias, and the revenge idea. The revenge idea. That sounds so dramatic. So.
Okay, so let's get to the first one, to the speedboat mentality. So we all know that when it comes to trading, there is something quite energizing and, I would say, quite really exciting and uplifting about trading. It's just I think that especially in the beginning, it's very easy to get high from trading, right? Like, this is so exciting. We're learning so many new things, and then we know that we can create quite a substantial amount of money or income with automated tools. So there's a lot of excitement at the beginning, and it's easy to get pretty high pretty fast, and then we got kind of like on a speedboat. So we build up this speedboat mentality when we're so enthusiastic that we're really speeding up on this boat, and because we're in such a big speed, we might start losing control. And I understand that actually the most guys I worked with, most traders I worked with, were really enthusiastic people, really enthusiastic. They love trading. They're very enthusiastic about trading direction, and I appreciate that, because we're like this as well. We love trading, and we're so enthusiastic talking about that as well. But we also have to bear in mind that it is still a highly risky business, and that's what it is. Like, we cannot deny this fact. We know that trading, you can lose money. It is risky. You can make many mistakes. And trading, I would say, requires probably more patience than anybody, and then not than any other professions, but than a lot of other professions. And what I see quite often is that once guys, especially at the beginning, they get on this speedboat mentality, they start committing mistakes against the usual recommendation that they can hear from us or from other traders, which are very valid. So, for example, one very common thing is, Andrew, that when we share trading methodology and when we teach trading, we always say, launch your strategies one by one. There are a couple of reasons for that. So first of all, if you're launching your first portfolio, you're not experienced with technicalities. You don't know what can go wrong. So you need to launch just one strategy, see what happens. Maybe you forgot to check the one small box in TradeStation, which happens quite often, and your strategy doesn't get executed. Maybe you've done something else. And then after that, you can start putting on more strategies. So this is a very typical example of speedboat mentality. Traders develop their first portfolio. That's great. You guys are awesome if you develop your first portfolio. But then they take their first 5, 6, 7, 8 strategies, and they launch right away. And then, of course, Murphy laws functions perfectly. So first of all, because they were in rush, because they were on speedboat mentality, they didn't really care that much about diversification and correlation. So they launched the easiest strategies to build, which are mostly on indexes. So first of all, because of the speedboat mentality, they're launching highly correlated portfolio of mainly indexes. And second, they launch it at the same time, because again they have this speedboat mentality, and all of a sudden market just don't have a good time, and especially for indexes, and because there's a high correlation, high linearity, the whole portfolio goes down very quickly, and then traders are like in shock what just happened. And nothing happened. It's just this speedboat mentality. You need to do every step carefully. You need to do your stress testing and robustness testing procedures super carefully. You need to build your portfolio carefully. If you don't have 6-7 strategies or whatever the number is you want to launch with, if you cannot achieve low correlations among these strategies, well, you cannot rush it. You cannot keep cruising on this high-speed boat no matter what. You need to take step back, bring in other markets, and create a slow correlated portfolio, and then you need to start launching them one by one. And I know that this takes time. It can sometimes you think it's February, actually in March I will launch, and then if you think about these steps, you might think instead of I will launch in May, and you're impatient, but that's what gets you into trouble. And Andrew, I think you can confirm that. We've seen this so many times in BTA, so many times, even among very good traders.
Yeah. Well, I've even done it, and I'm sure you've done it as well. It's I guess a human tendency, especially, I'm quite an impatient person, so I just always want to go, go, go. And I think this, what you're talking about is not just about slowing down, but it's really about, an intelligent, systematic, step-by-step process to getting where you want to go, rather than just rushing like crazy. So, I think this is a really good point that we do see happen a lot. And the times that we've seen it, Thomas, what do you think the results are more often than not?
Yeah, exactly. Frustration.
Yeah.
A lot of frustration.
Yeah.
So really
exactly.
be patient, guys. There's no point in rushing, because you might think that you will launch sooner than you expected, but then you will have to take these 2 steps back again anyway, and you will be delayed again. Like you will not catch any extra time or any extra advantage. You will have to go back, you will have to correct these errors, and you will have to get back on track again, but probably with less money in your account. So there's no shortcut. There's no way to overcome these basic steps, and these are craft your portfolio well and launch it in stages.
Okay, excellent advice there, Thomas. So that was number 1, the speedboat mentality. Just wondering in the chat, is anyone currently going through this or experienced this? Let us know in the chat. Be interesting to see. Dave. Yeah, good one, Dave. Dave says, be patient. Dave's been achieving some amazing things in the Breakout Masterclass Accelerator. So keep going, Dave. You're doing a good job. But patience, it's frustrating sometimes, right? Yeah.
Good job. Yeah, patience. Trading is a profession that requires patience, period. It will teach you a lot of patience, and if you're not patient, you'd better start meditating and slowing down, because otherwise trading will teach you.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so that's number 1, the speedboat mentality. Number 2 was called the compensation illusion.
Yeah. So the compensation illusion, I would say this is the biggest probably ever reason why people lose money in trading. And it's because a lot of traders come into trading with this false belief that trading is something that can compensate financially for their current financial state. So it's a very similar mentality to casino. Like, why people go to casino? Because they're probably in debt, they need to make money quickly, they need to resolve their financial situation, they need to compensate for their lack of self-worthiness. And they have this compensation illusion that trading is something where they can compensate for these financial hurdles, financial challenges. And again, what happens when you go to casino? You go to casino and you go there with this mentality that I have to make money, that I need to make money no matter what. The odds are that you will probably lose everything. And it's same like with any other business. If you start if you launch a new business, if you start a new business just because you need to make money very fast, it will not go well, guaranteed. Like, I don't know about anybody who would succeed because he launched he launched a business because he needs quick money. Like, you need to go to trading because you first of all love it, and you're intrigued by it, and you find something positive and nice and positively challenging for you in that. But if you have this compensation illusion, if the only reason to do trading is just compensate for your financial needs, do not even start, like, period. Because if you want to compensate, if you're launching trading because of this compensation idea, then it's almost guaranteed that you will lose money. Like, I would say it's 99.99999% guaranteed. And I don't know about anybody who would make money in trading or casino by approaching it with this need for compensation. Doesn't work this way. Just doesn't.
Yep. That's a good one. I think people come into trading with the wrong expectation as well, right? Which links into the compensation illusion quite well. So I think part of that is because there's a lot of marketing and scams and things out there on the internet which promote this kind of behavior. So it's very difficult to avoid it. And I think, what do you think is the solution if people identify that they've got that, that kind of bias or that kind of thinking and attitude? How do they approach it?
Well, they need to take a big step back and maybe forget about trading completely, because it's not a solution. Like, if you're, it's just like this is funny, but it's like with dating. If you're desperate, you get constant rejection. Like, we all know that, right? Like, if you start dating with this desperation, you'll be 100% rejected everywhere you'll go, except for a war.
Except for what?
Right? Prostitute.
Oh. Maybe. I wouldn't know.
Maybe. And maybe even she will reject you,
Oh,
so the same thing is the same thing in trading. If you approach this for this reason, that you have to, that you're desperate, like, it doesn't matter what you do, like, it won't work. There's a lot of stress involved. This stress will cause you rushing, which will be a double speedboat mentality, a lot of mistakes. Just doesn't work. And that's a very common reason why people lose money in trading. The only right approach to trading in this way is, I want to create a serious business. That's it. I want to, it can be a part-time business. That's all right. Like, a lot of people have other part-time businesses online, in the internet, or small shops or whatever. So it's totally all right. It can be just a small side business, 2 hours a day. It's up to you. Doesn't matter. But that's the only proper mentality. I'm going to build a serious business. I'll take it as a serious business owner. I'll take all the responsibility. I'll take all the ownership, and I'm going to build a serious thing for a serious outcome, for a serious reason. That's the only way.
Yep. Good point. I never thought we'd talk about prostitutes on the show, but you never know where we're going to go, right?
Yeah, we never know. We never know.
Actually, there's a comment from Sco here in the chat. Let me just put this one up on the screen. I think there's a difference between desperation and expecting a dependable return. What do you say to that one?
I disagree. I'm just thinking how to phrase that. Like, it's maybe it's just a small misunderstanding. Of course, you're expecting a dependable return. We all, like, that's why we're in trading. So in this part, I agree 100%, Scott. Yes, you're right. Yes, we are expecting a dependable return. But I think, and sorry, maybe I just got your point wrong. So maybe I do agree actually. But I think that like desperate people, they don't. Desperate people, they just desperate. Like they're not expecting dependable return. They expecting miracles. Like desperate people expect that in 2 weeks with their 500 trading account from borrowed money, they will pay that $20,000 debt. So that's the desperation. So sorry. Yeah, Scott. Yeah, I agree. I just, yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that was point number 2, the compensation illusion.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 is called the a lot for little attitude. I get a feeling you might have just touched on this a little bit with your previous comment, but what does that mean? A lot for little.
Yeah. So a lot for little. This is. So let me tell you this. I live in an area in a touristic area. It's a vacation spot, so there are a lot of people coming for vacation every year. And I would think is that, of course, where there are a lot of tourists, there are a lot of restaurants, naturally, or other amenity services. And I can see quite a lot of restaurants to come and go and disappear every year. It's a huge turnaround of in this service. Like a lot of restaurants just open, they don't survive even the first season, they're gone, and others are luckier and they do survive a couple of seasons, and the rest, they've been here fortunately for a long time. The point is that I can see, and I do know quite a few business and restaurant owners, and I talk to them. And when I talk to them, I'm always curious how much money they need to put in front to even open their business. And believe me, opening even a small cafe, it's a pretty expensive thing. I'm always shocked how much money people need to do. Even a small cafe with, I don't know, 4 or 5 tables can cost you 20,000-30,000 euro to open. Just to open it, you need to pay some fees and people and renovation, and like there are a lot of costs and related to this. And with that 30,000, 30,000 just for the opening, these owners, they might not see a single profit the first year, not at all, like zero. They're usually break even if they're not really lucky, or if they don't have really, really good season. Besides that, they're facing enormous competition. And I think this goes with every business. Like other business owners I know having small shops here or whatever, real estate agency, they have to start with a pretty substantial amount of money, at least couple of tens of thousands euros to even start their business. Now, for some reason, so it's a general accepted and general understood thing that launching a business needs this kind of capital, period, any business. Now, for some reason, people think that trading is different. Like some people think that with trading, they need just a little and they expect a lot. So this is what I call the a lot for a little attitude. Like they expect that they can, put in $500, $1,000 and they can start making thousands of dollars every month or tens of thousands every month. And that's not true. That's not true. Why on earth trading should be different compared to any other business? Let me repeat it. I already said it. This is a business like any other. It's a business, period. And it's got all the advantages, disadvantages, challenges, perks, benefits of other businesses. The only difference probably is that you don't need employees. You only need your laptop, and you can do it anywhere, anytime from the world, and you can automate it, which actually are, of course, huge benefits and huge perks. But besides that, everything else is like a normal business. You need a reasonable capitalization for the beginning to launch it. You need to have routines, procedures. You need to manage your money. You need to know what you're doing. You need to be patient. You need to build it step by step, from step one, from A to Z. So this one really applies to trading too. It really is important to understand that you cannot launch any business without reasonable capitalization, and the same applies to trading. And a lot of traders, they come to trading with undercapitalized, and this undercapitalization is another common reason why traders actually do not succeed, like with in any other business.
Yep. Yep. So then what is the place for people who start trading and only have a small account? Say someone who only has $500 or $1,000. What do you think they should do?
Well, so first of all, I think they should take a second job for 3 months and build a bigger account. Like that's the only solution. There's no solution to start with $500. None, not even piccolots on Forex. That's a total joke. Like that doesn't work this way. So you need, if you're committed to your way, you need to sacrifice a little bit. And one of that sacrifice, and I know people who sacrifice this way and it worked for them perfectly, is that you need to find out some extra time and maybe take some extra job for 3, 4, 5 months and make extra money. And one of my very, very successful students in Czech Republic, he started with trading as a student and he didn't have that capital. So, he built it a small side, not even a job, but, just like small side thing with motorbikes, helping people to, repair their motorbikes and stuff like that, because he was a very good engineer. And after a few months, he made the reasonable minimum to build his trading account and launch. And he's super successful now. He's really, really great trader. But that was the only rational good thing to do. And that there's no shortcut. Again, that applies to everyone. So it's really important to build up a reasonable account. Fortunately, we now have vehicles like micro futures. We've been talking about them a lot. So you don't need tens of thousands, but you need to understand that it's like in any other business. If you have small capital, you have to launch a small business first and then grow it to bigger business. If you have a bigger capital, you can try to launch a little bit bigger business right away. Although I still would recommend just doing it step by step slowly. But you need a reasonable capital. That's it.
Yeah. I think like a lot of traders, we have in our elite program, are they have other jobs as well as their trading business, right? So they've got part-time roles and full-time roles, and they do trading as well. And the impact of that is that they don't, they're not like, I've got to make X thousand of dollars this month from trading so I can pay my bills and feed the kids. They're not in that kind of pressure situation. So I think there's a lot of value in being able to do trading and something else at the same time for a while until you really pick up your trading. And that goes into, I guess, the last 2 points you've mentioned: compensation illusion and the a lot for little attitude. So I think there's a lot to consider when you're making the switch to trading. Don't just jump into trading with a little amount of money and expect that it's going to take off straight away. You need to have some kind of other way to support yourself.
Yeah, and a lot of businesses started as a side job or a side business. Like I know business owners who started, their small things besides having a job, and then gradually they transformed it into a full-time job. So it's like a normal business. That's it.
Okay, that was the wrong time to take a drink. We got a good comment in the chat here from Martin. Let's put this one
hi,
up,
Martin.
because
Good to see you, Martin.
This is a good one. Love these real life business examples. They give us real perspective as opposed to wishful thinking.
Yeah, and actually, wishful thinking is a great transition to the next point.
Oh, okay. And the next point is on the list: the strategy paradise bias.
Yeah, so the strategy paradise bias, it's wishful thinking, exactly. So thank you, Martin. So the other really big thing why traders fail is, I would say it's a illusion. It's living in the illusion of beautiful backtest equity curves. So I would say there are two different categories of backtest equities, which of course a backtest equity, it's a good projection to the future, but it depends on which kind of equity curve we're looking. So the easiest thing to do when you start with trading is to create a well over optimized, nice, smooth equity curve without actually using any stress testing or robustness testing procedure. And then live in an illusion that this is how your real-time trading will go on. Now, Andrew, that and some of you guys like Martin, he knows that as well already, or Mark, or the other guys we have in the masterclass accelerator. You already know, especially now with accelerator, we're in this phase of stress testing. You already know that your equity curves right now are mostly far from being perfect, right? Like we have these drawdowns in our equity curves. We have, periods of stagnation. Then we stress test them. They can get a little bit worse on top of what they already are. So the point is that these equity curves that we are producing with all these stress testing and robustness testing are not the nicest equities you will see around. And we also had to mention that these are out of sample compile equities, but these are realistic equity curves. These are pretty close to what your actual trading will look like. Like it will never be smooth right like this. There will be bumps, ups, down. There will be stagnations, drawdowns. So at least when you approach the strategy development honestly, with all honesty and with these tools to give you a true picture, you might not be happy from what you see, but hey, you at least know that you can improve this through diversification, through creating a small portfolio, which will help you to smooth this down. But at least you're living in a world of what's actually probably going to happen. But a lot of traders, they start with these beautiful overfit, over-optimized equity curves. Sometimes they just see them on the internet. Sometimes, they just create them, fabricate them themselves. And they really believe this is what their future, what their real-time trading will look like. And that's never the case. Like these beautiful equity steadily going up, it can be to a certain extent achieved with portfolio, but it cannot be achieved with a single strategy, maybe for a short time, couple of weeks, months, but not a long time. So yeah, the point is it's better to get happy with well stress test and robustness test compiled out of sample equity, which is not perfect, and living in this, what I say, the strategy paradise bias or strategy paradise illusion. And we've seen that a lot as well, Andrew, didn't we?
Yeah, this is a funny one because I think this is the one that we talk about the most, and other people on the internet talk about the most, and it seems to be the one that catches people out the most as well. So it's ironic that that's the case. Why do you think this one's such an issue?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's because people like fairy tales. They like the idea of having effortless, quick, steady, daily outcome without any work. There's something magical about that, and at least I believe that there's something in us which even very rational people who do know that it's probably not true, they still have this temptation to try it and just see themselves, which is okay. Like we did this as well. We had to learn these lessons, and I got nothing against these lessons. But these lessons are valid when you risk 5% of your capital on strategies like that, and you lose very little. But if you really believe that, if you believe in that heavily, if it becomes your mantra, if it becomes your ideology, then you're in trouble. So
Yeah.
again, the point is learn to get satisfied with less appealing equity curves, because these are probably closer to what you're going to experience than this beautiful steadily growing up equity curves. And don't get me wrong, you will occasionally get strategies which will be like that for some period of time. I experienced that as well, but don't make it your ideology.
Yeah. Well, Mark's put an interesting comment in the chat, saying dopamine, and I was actually
Oh,
thinking about
yes.
this. I think that we get conditioned that when we see a beautiful looking equity curve, you feel a little bit of an emotional rush, right? And I think that that's part of the problem is, the visual look of it, and then you extrapolate in your mind, I'm going to be a millionaire in 2 months and things like that. It's a rush, and then you move on to the next one and the next one. I think Mark's got an excellent point there, that we become like equity curve addicts.
Yeah, that's a
looking
great
for the
point,
next
Mark.
hit all the time, right?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something funny about this. It's really because I've been thinking about this, not actually about dopamine, but about, this. I was thinking, like, why people want to get rich, right? Like, why a lot of people chase money and they want to become rich and buy all these cars and help all these fancy things. And I came to conclusion that whatever the reason is, and there can be a lot of underlying reason, at the end of the day, it's about feeling good. Like, you want to feel good. That's it. Like, you want to feel that you achieved something. You want to feel that you built up something. You want to feel that you're having a magnificent, magical life. So it's about these feelings, and at the end of the day, I think it narrows down to one feeling, which is something, I don't know if I will be able to express it correctly because it's quite abstract, but it's something like worthiness of abundance. Like, at the end of the day, you feel you're worthy of endless abundance. It's just like, if you get all these toys and jets, you're like, wow, I feel so abundant and I feel worthy of abundance. And you get this feeling. Now, the funny thing is that you can bring up this feeling without having these toys. So you can basically just sit down and start imagining that it already happened. And now you have all the feelings without actually happening that. And believe me, there's no reason. There's no difference. There's no difference. Like, I know what it was when I was dreaming about, fast car, beautiful car. And these feelings were exactly the same feelings like when I actually got this car and I was driving it for the very first time. And I think this is very important to realize, because, this is also part of meditations, right? Like, part of meditation is that you have access to these feelings and emotions without actually building these things up. And the great thing is, and this is very ironical and very also almost contradictory, but the thing is that once you are able to bring up all these feelings and feel satisfied without having these things, you stop feeling this lack, which creates this overcompensation or compensation illusion. So you get way calmer. You get way calmer about your path, about your journey, because in a sense you already feel this calmness and this abundance, and that slows you down, and that really makes you calmer. And all of a sudden, with this small hack, a lot of this speedboat mentality, compensation illusion, a lot of four little strategy paradigms, they disappear, because all of a sudden you don't need to compensate for these feelings and emotions that much anymore. Still a little bit, but you already got them from inside. And that's why I said that's one of the things that I learned from meditations, and that's why I always say meditations are great for traders, because you can fix these underlying lacks and unworthiness feelings before you start making these mistakes, and that pretty much gets you set to the success much faster and much better. What do you think about it?
That's very interesting. I need some time to process that a little bit. But yeah, that's I think it's very interesting observation. So you're saying that you can replicate the feelings and emotions without going through the pain of having to accomplish whatever it is you're desiring.
Yes,
Wow.
exactly.
Very profound. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have full access. It's just a matter of practice, and you can 100% replicate. And that's a huge advantage, because once you replicate it, you're way more balanced, and it's way easier to accomplish your goals, because you don't need this compensation illusion, speedboat mentality, and all these dangerous things.
Yep. We've got a couple of quick comments in the chat, so I think we should have a quick look at this, and then we'll move on to the next one. A funny one here from Rob. There's nothing longer than a poor man's hope. I like that. Okay, here's one from Martin. It's one of the common fallacies, because we see winners and success stories, but we don't see statistics of how many people failed in that same sample in order to create one winner.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one huge bias. I agree 100%. Good observation, Martin. I agree. Absolutely.
Yep. And then there's another one from Martin. Martin's on fire today. So just when we were talking about this visualization, I guess, you work from the end, feeling not that pleased, can I have this? Meaning you're coming from an underlying emotion of lack, but opposite what it feels like to actually experience it, which is when you're talking about the abundancy, right? So coming from a different angle.
Yeah, exactly, Martin.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's keep moving. So that was number 4. Sorry, Thomas, were you going to say something else before I move us on?
No, that was it.
Okay. So that was number 4, the strategy paradise bias. The last one, the revenge idea. I like the sound of this.
Oh boy, this is
Revenge.
I still cannot wrap my head around this one, but I've seen it so many times. And the thing is that there are traders there are people who've been in trading or investing for a long time, and they lost their money, but quite often they didn't even lose their money because of their own mistake. They just lose their money because they trusted a wrong person, and they let that person trade for them, or whatever the reason is. But in this certain group of people, there's something which I call this revenge idea, and they have an idea that once they lose money, they have to get it back by every means. They have this idea that markets now owes them, that market took something from them, and now markets do owe them, and they need to revenge. Like, they go to markets for revenge to get that back. Like, I will fight to get my money back. I will fight to get what is mine, what I deserve, what I gave to market. And they come from this angle of revenge. And this is a very dangerous state of mind, because this is a high adrenaline, high testosterone approach, very testosterone-like approach, very aggressive-like approach. And I think that you will probably confirm that, Andrew, as well, that if something doesn't work well in markets, it's aggressivity, right? Like, being aggressive in markets never leads anywhere. In markets, we're in a game of patience. We're in a game of intellect, because this is a game of using your brain and using your intellect to figure out how to put all these pieces of puzzle together. So you compete with your brain, you compete with your patience, you compete with your psychological resilience and also your psychological balance, because you need both. You need to be resilient and you need to be internally balanced. These are the things that you can compete fairly and you can win, but you'll never win if you will try to conquer markets with aggressivity. That doesn't work. That is one of the worst approaches and attitudes ever. And a lot of people do that. So if you'll ever, or another example is like, let's say that you had, let's say this is very common with stocks. So like, let's say you had a favorite stock, Facebook. You were making money in Facebook for a long time. Then last week, bam, 30% down, the biggest drop in the history of stock exchange. And now a normal person would probably quit or wait. What will happen, or would diversify. But then I'm 100% sure that there will be a certain group of people who now will feel like Facebook owes them and they need to get all their money back, specifically on Facebook. So they will be buying they will be averaging down, they will be increasing their position as Facebook will be dropping, they will be increasing position with every small move up, and they will be aggressively trying to get their money back from Facebook, because they have this perception that Facebook owes them and they will beat up Facebook till Facebook will give them this money. So this is the revenge idea. And we need to be really conscious and sensitive to that and have this ring bell in our head and recognize when this could be happening, and immediately as it starts happening, stop trading that particular market whatsoever. Otherwise, it will not be a happy end at all.
Yeah, I think is it the book Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas that talks about this?
Yes.
And like the market doesn't care what you think or what you want or how you feel. It just is, right? And so you can't get revenge on it. You can't teach it a lesson. You can't do anything like that. So you've got to just change your approach to the market and not try and force it into your will. So I think that's the book, Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone. That's a good book.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great book, great psychological trading psychology book. And I think Dr. Steenberger, he also wrote about this a couple of times, like this kind of I think that Dr. Steenberger is quite deep about trading psychology, and he's got a little bit different angle, but he also goes through through this revelation what is in our subconscious mind that causes us to keep making certain mistakes again and again. And I recall that this was part of that as well. So yeah.
Yeah, got some good comments. Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was about to say it's a game of psychology. It's like we can't deny that there's a lot of psychology involved in trading, and we constantly need to work on our own psychology to make sure we're balanced, we're not in any of these weird modes that can really be harmful for our trading.
Yeah, we've got a couple of good comments in the chat. Martin, the revenge trades are very common in day trading, but we're very lucky as algo traders when we limit ourselves. For example, when we limit ourselves to 1 to 2 trades per strategy per day, less emotion involved and more rationality. Absolutely. Great comment. Here's one from Rob. A little bit morbid, but it's a good point. I just read this. Every dead body on Mount Everest was once a highly motivated person, so maybe just calm down. I like that. I'm not sure I should be laughing at that one, but it's a good point, Rob. It's a good point.
Yeah. Good one.
And here's one from Mark. Evolutionarily, our brains are designed for survival in a very different environment. You could say all of our cognitive and emotional biases are there for a good reason. Excuse me, there's a part 2. Let me pop this one up on the screen. So they're there. So you could say all our cognitive and emotional biases are there for a good reason, because they work, just not in our current modern world. Similarly, we aren't hardwired to think statistically, but in trading, it's the only way. Net means winners plus losers.
That's a great observation, Mark. Very mature, to the point observations. Yes, and it's a good start if we start being aware of these cognitive biases, and if we get more familiar, or I would say more tuned with these statistics, it's easier for us. So yeah, great point, really good one.
Yeah. All right, Thomas. So was that the end of the revenge idea? Point number 5.
Yes, and
Okay.
then we have a quote.
Well, how about we just go back quickly through the 5 unexpected ways? I'll put them up on the screen for a quick summary. Okay, so the first one was the speedboat mentality, and that was about being, you're not just rushing ahead, but being intelligent, systematic, and step by step the process to achieving what we're trying to achieve. The compensation illusion and the a lot for little are kind of mixed in together. Very similar kind of ways that traders lose money. Then the strategy paradise, where we all fall in love with beautiful looking equity curves. And then the revenge idea, trying to revenge trade on the markets, usually doesn't work out very well for us. Did you want to add anything to those summary points? How did I go?
No,
Did I do it
that's
right
all.
there?
Yeah,
Okay.
you did very well. Thank you.
Thank you. Passed the test. All right. So do you want to jump into the quote? Let me just get this one on the screen. Here we go, Thomas. Ta-da.
Well, it's a simple one. Nothing hurts worse than the loss of money. It's debatable, but
Yeah.
at least we definitely know that loss of money does hurt. That's for sure. So why I picked this quote is quite simple, because you really, really can minimize this pain by taking everything that we said today seriously. So please think about it, how is it? Complantate?
I don't know what that, I'm not sure what that word is.
Complantation.
Contemplate? You mean like
Contemplate.
think? Contemplate, yeah.
Yes, contemplate on it, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and really, do not rush. Do it. The more you approach your trading from this point of calm mentality, balanced mentality, the higher your chances are. So do not do anything unnecessarily aggressive, because the pain of loss of money is definitely not desirable.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for sharing the 5 reasons today, Thomas. It was really great. And we had a lot
Thank
of
you.
excellent discussions and comments in the chat. So thank you to everyone for contributing today. And please remember, before you go, to give us a thumbs up on this video. It helps to spread the word a little bit more. And don't forget to hit subscribe and the little bell guy at, I think, the bottom right, to get notified when new content is released. And then also we've got an additional announcement, which Thomas just reminded me before. Let me put it up on the screen. If you have trading questions, suggestions, topics you'd like to see on the show, then you can just email us, support@bettertraderacademy.com. And we'll take note of those, and we could make it a topic of a future show, right?
Exactly. Let us know, guys, what you want us to talk about. We prepare the show for you, so we really need your feedbacks. And also, do not forget, we're still open to your strategy analysis, feedbacks to your strategy. So if you have some equity curve strategies, just send them to us, and we will cover the analysis on the show. And again, can be a good benefit for you too. So whatever you have to send us, please do not hold back. Send it to us, and we will do our best to bring it up.
Exactly. And just a couple of thanks in the chat before we finish up for today. Here's one from Mark. Some excellent comments in the chat today, Mark. Thanks for sharing your insights. And Rob had some good ones and a good joke in there as well. So thank you very much. And a lot of other good comments in here. So thanks again for joining us today. And we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. So have a good time until then. Any closing comments, Thomas?
No, thank you very much for being with us tonight. It was a good show. Great feedbacks, guys. Great insights. Really appreciate that. Love having you here around and talking to you like this. It makes the show way more pleasurable. So we will be looking forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Happy trading.
Happy trading. Take care. Catch you soon. Ciao.
Bye-bye.